Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, just getting set up here. There we go. Connect to Facebook. Reconnecting. Here we go. All right. Sweet. I think we're going. Make sure this is muted. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to the first stream of the brand new year, 2019. It's going to be fun. Today I'm going to be sculpting this rabbit from Creaturebox. Now, it's not very, well, Creaturebox isn't very typical for doing cute fluffy bunnies like this. I mean, it's a weird design. They're known for really interesting designs of creatures and things like that. But they did this animation of this bunny and I thought it was hilarious. So I thought I wanted to take a stab at sculpting it. So, all right. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Hey, what's up, me? Happy New Year's. Is it working? All right, it's just taking a minute for people to pile in. All right. Okay. Hey, what's up, Jace? Thanks so much. Okay. Yeah, I kind of readjust this mic every single time. But do you guys think this sounds better than the lav mic or not as good? I can't. It's been a while, so I can't remember. I need to see if I can get those lav mics working again. I have two of them, but I just haven't tried to get them working since I got back from CTN and they were broken. So, what do you do? Hey, Mosin, how you doing? Okay. So let's get started on this guy. He has kind of a really bean-shaped body, and I want some more resolution on him, so I'm going to subdivide it once. And then kill that subdivision level. Delete lower. So then I have this. The big mic sounds better. It probably sounds boomier. Not that my voice needs to sound any boomier than it is, but the thing that the lav mic helped with is it allowed me to move around. Like you can probably tell if I move my head like this, it kind of changes the sound quality a little bit. But the lav mic would get kind of hung up on things, you know. It would because I had it strung over and clipped to my shirt. So, okay. All right, so from the side, I actually grabbed a couple of frames from this animation that they did. From the side, I wanted to kind of push it, and we'll be tweaking it as we go, but I wanted to push it into a bean shape so his back kind of slopes in and his belly kind of comes out like this. This is live. How's it going? All right, let's see. And then I'm just going to block out. What's really interesting about this guy is he doesn't really have a head. His head is his body, and his body is his head, which would make for really challenging animations because there's no neck to really turn. It would have to twist his body and things like that. Hey, what's up, Neil? Here, let me show you. Wait, it's right here. Okay. I'm going to put this link in here. So that's the original animation. There you go, Neil. Yep, Concept Arts Creaturebox. Now I'm having a student challenge in my course right now, and the student challenge is for students to model something concepted out by Creaturebox. And that's going to end on January 31st. So I'm pretty excited about that. The students are very excited about it. And both Greg and Dave from Creaturebox said they would be happy to judge the challenge, so I'm super excited about that as well. Okay, so there's the link to the animation. It's really funny. Hey, Happy New Year's. How's it going? From South Africa. What time is it in South Africa? How's it going? Okay, So let's, I'm just going to start blocking in the legs first. This appendage brush. And I leave the floor on sometimes just so I can tell which direction is straight ahead. Because it's really easy to model like from a bad direction. From the wrong direction, I should say. Okay. So how was your New Year? You guys have a good New Year? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mir. I appreciate it. Okay, I like when I do legs like this, on a character like this, I really like to integrate the legs into the body as much as I can. So from the front, it just kind of, there's not really a break in it, you know? And his legs are very, very skinny. Oh, looks like my, this is a quick thing. I think I've mentioned it before, but this is my custom user interface. If you ever come up with not being able to open the menu, so you can see that my 3D Character Workshop custom menu is gone up here. All you have to do is go to Preferences, Config, and hit Restore Custom UI, and it'll bring that menu back, and now you're able to access it. No big deal. 9 p.m. Okay. It's good to know. Thanks, Neil. Yep, you can grab the brushes, or if you try to exit the website, it'll pop up as well. I need to make it a little more apparent where those are. Okay. So I want to make these, I want to make them straight on the front and kind of rounded on the back. I'll be tweaking these the entire time, so. Okay. Hola, Elkin. How are you? How do you create two mirrored objects simultaneously? You just turn on symmetry right here. So you activate symmetry with X. As long as that is turned on and you use the primitive brush, it will just drag out another object at the same time. You don't have to use mirror and weld. I will typically mirror and weld later on anyway, but that's how I will usually do it. I'm trying to decide if I just want to drag this leg and create the entire leg all at once, or just, I'll probably do another appendage. Move these forward in space just a little bit. Okay. And then we just continue with shaping and merging and making them all be combined. The reason I was thinking about doing it as one solid leg rather than two pieces is because I just wanted to show you that it's possible to do that. Maybe I still will. Maybe I'll go back. What do you guys think? Do you want me to show you how to do that, or just do my typical two-part leg? Let's see. Johanna, let me see. I haven't checked out. Oh yeah, I have seen that. That's really, really nice. I love it. You want to see one leg? All right. Okay, I'll just delete. When do you turn symmetry off? I usually don't turn it off until I'm ready to pose. So I'm going to delete hidden on that guy. And then we'll just drag this leg out. So I'm going to mask it off. And then center the gizmo in this mass, which is by using this little arrow icon. And I'll drag this up here and then scale it down as tall as I want his legs. Like this. So it just takes a little more finessing when you're doing a single leg. When you aren't also focused on streaming and you are working on a character like this rabbit, how long would it take you to complete the sculpt? It depends on if I'm trying to be fast at it or not, but I'll typically block out a character in about. It depends on how detailed the character design is. But something as simple as this, I could probably block him out in an hour or so, something like that. Is it possible to toggle the gizmo to the corner of the page in order to prevent blockage? Well, you can just move it. So, see this gizmo right here? If you want to just move it away, you just hold down Alt and grab one of these corners and just move it. And then you can move it out of the way. You can still move your things, you know, your objects by grabbing it and moving it. Sketch Republic, how's it going? I'm sorry, the challenge, but excited to get started. Awesome. Yeah, pretty much. You can pretty much pick any of their designs. Like I suggested, you might want to. I don't know. I guess you probably could, but you might want to stay away from the Ratchet and Clank designs just because they're already modeled. Well, there's a lot of their stuff that's already modeled. This is pretty wide, a pretty wide leg. I want to make it a lot skinnier, thinner. Okay. And narrower from the front. I'm probably gonna end up really making this skinny because his legs are so thin. That's why I like this design, is the extremes, like how thick his arms are and his hands are compared to his legs. It just makes a really nice design. Oh, thanks so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. Okay. Okay, let's make these feet. Sometimes it's oh, the Polygon music. I don't have it going today, just because sometimes it can be a bit distracting. So I didn't, and I'm standing up, of course, so that changed too. I'm standing up today. I'm not sitting in my chair. That's why you can see more of the top of my thing. Okay, so that's essentially how you can do a single leg rather than two. Then you don't get, because a lot of new students, they'll have the side profile kind of go in like this, and then go in like this. So can you kind of see what I'm talking about? Wherever the shapes come together, instead of like having a nice edge there, a nice silhouette, it'll be like that, which is not the best. Hey Paul, how's it going? No, I didn't draw this myself. This is a design by Creature Shop. So I can post it here. There you go. That's their Instagram. Go ahead and give them a follow. They're awesome. It's two guys that work at they work on Ratchet and Clank. What's the oh, that's just it's from, oh, I'm trying to remember. It's an escorché model. I can't say that word very well. But it's just a reference model for anatomy that Michael DeFeo worked on, and I think it's Scott Eaton and Michael DeFeo. It's the same one from the app that you can get on the App Store that you can turn around. It's the same one, but it's in 3D, or it's printed. Hey, what's up, Kyle? How's it going, man? Good to see you on the stream. I'm making a bunny. Bunny. Okay, for these feet, I want want to turn them like this way. Oh, Dan, that's okay. That's okay. I wouldn't stop. Yeah, it's okay. I was just gonna say, you know, maybe just because of license reasons and all that kind of stuff. But no, they the Creaturebox guys, they put the Ratchet and Clank stuff right in their portfolio, so it's like it's a Creaturebox concept. So don't worry about it too much. I'd keep going, keep going. Well, thanks, Yuri. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, did somebody ask me about my workspace? I can't remember. Sorry. I have a tablet like yours, but my workspace is the worst because I don't know how to get a good position with all back. Your back hurts so much. What can you do? I look so relaxed. I only stand occasionally. I don't stand all the time. And I only stand maybe 2 hours at the most. That's what my stream is, 2 hours, and I can stand for 2 hours. But usually I'm sitting. Occasionally I'll make it stand. But when I'm sitting, I don't know that you can't really see this, but my Cintiq is hanging off the edge of my desk. I have it on one of those stands, and the most comfortable situation I've been in when I was doing the work on Infinity stuff is I had a different Cintiq. I had the 20, is it 20 something HD, 21 HD or something like that. It had buttons on the sides and the ratio was a little bit different. And I designed this user interface so I wouldn't have to use the keyboard right now, and you can't really see it. My keyboard is right here on a slide out, so you can't really see it in the camera view. But I have my keyboard just beneath my Cintiq because I don't want to stretch my arm over here or over here to push hotkeys on the keyboard. They're right underneath, so I can keep my arm in kind of a natural position when I'm both standing and sitting, and it works out pretty well. So, yeah, that's. I feel like Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. But just kind of get it into your lap as much as possible and sit in a nice position. You know, as best. Don't hunch over your Cintiq or your tablet. You know, try and get a good posture. Yeah, Dan, keep going, man. I don't want you to stop. Don't stop. I want to see what you come up with. Because it's kind of like if you kind of treat it like Ratchet and Clank fan art rather than, you know, trying to replicate what they've already done in the game, then that's a good thing, you know. Fan art. Treat it as fan art and it'll be good. Okay. Move this heel. Hey, from Pakistan. How's it going? Okay, and then we'll get these toes. Sometimes you can't really understand the proportions of your objects until you get everything in there. So that's typically what I'll do when I'm blocking something out is I'll just get all the pieces there. Then I'll start to move things around, and it's like, okay, that foot's too long, the toes are too big, you know, whatever. Get the toes in there. 3 toes. 3 magic toes on the magic rabbit's foot. All right. Yeah, this is Creaturebox concept. It doesn't look like your typical Creaturebox concept, but it is. I love it. It made me laugh when I saw it. So it's like, hey, that's a really simple character, and you really don't see characters where their head is also their body, and I want to take this all the way to animation if I can, so that's why I wanted to do it. And I'm also doing I'm doing a Creaturebox student challenge right now in my course. So I told them that I would pick one and sculpt along with them. So that's what this is all about. Yeah, he has a shoulder eye. For sure. Shoulder eye. You got a bad case of the shoulder eye, kid. Duplicate. Scale it down a little bit. Same thing. The breastbone nose. Yep. Okay. Yeah, when he's animating, sometimes since that shine is so bright on that nose, when he's walking, sometimes that nose looks like a Cyclops nose, you know. To an or, that's okay. That's okay. I do several different challenges throughout the year, so just catch the next one. They're just there to give you a reason to sculpt something. So even if you don't like enter the contest, maybe it's I like to call them challenges, not really contests, but it just gives you a reason. So you might just want to pick a concept and maybe fiddle with it. Try to even just block it out, but don't take it any further than that. You know, if that's all you have time for, it's just to get you going. You know, to give you something to do. Neck abs. Do you want to see my neck abs? Another one from Brazil. How's it going? Welcome. Okay. Now I need to make this foot flow into the lower leg. So you can kind of see how this is flowing better, right? So let's fix that. I'll hide everything but the foot, and then start pulling it up into that ankle foot shape. I don't even know what you want to call it. Just the transition. There we go. Shaswata, hey, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you too. Thanks for stopping by. Let's I want to inflate this too to get that flow working a little better. There we go. See how that makes a big difference? Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to make his feet much bigger. See, now that I have them in place, I can start really tweaking. So, oh, thanks, CyberChris. Yeah, I think the students have enjoyed them, and it also gives an opportunity to get professional eyes on your models. That's one of the goals there, is to network with industry professionals. So what I do is I bring in industry professionals to judge the contest. I don't judge it. I said contest again. The challenge. So I bring in industry professionals to judge the challenge. Oh, what's going on with those toes? Look at that. What in the world? Okay. I might have to split these feet off. Sometimes that happens and I don't understand why. So let me save this as Creaturebox Bunny. Oh, thanks. Happy New Year. No worries. No worries, no worries. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now that it's saved, let's see. Yeah, it's still going to have issues. Let me see if I can do a mirror weld here and see if that'll fix it. Okay. And you can also, at any time, you can Z-remesh any of this stuff. So if you're starting to get weird shapes and things in the legs or the feet, you can Z-remesh it and make it a better. It is in local symmetry actually. It's just those. I don't know why those toes were being strange. So let's let me hide the feet and the toes. Okay, let's try this again. There it goes. So sometimes you just have to mirror and weld. I don't know. It tries to keep some of the transforms in there for some reason. I'm not sure. Okay. I was going to turn these outwards just a little bit more. Okay. Now, let's make the arms. Hey, what's up, Nice Shadow? How you doing, man? Vacation in Mexico, how was that? Okay, I can turn on dynamic subdivisions just to make him smoother. So this is kind of what he's looking like now. Not bad. I need to, don't let me forget the tail. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Welcome, guys. Yuri, I have one question. How do you start with that low poly sphere? Did you make a tool for that? Is it important to start with that one, or can I just start with a regular sphere from the tools? Yeah, so basically I start with the same exact project every single time. And it's a project that I give out for free if you'd like. It's over on my website, 3dcharacterworkshop.com. You can check it out. It's in the little strip at the very top of the website. Here, I can just show you really fast. So if you go to 3dcharacterworkshop.com and see this little right here, click here to grab my brushes. They're just right here, and the user interface and the project also come along with these brushes. So if you want them, that's where you grab them. And also, if you don't get them and you try to leave the website, this will pop up too. It's kind of annoying, but sorry about that. Anyway, it's so basically it comes with a ruler and it comes with that sphere. And so the ruler's right here. And I will typically build out my character and then scale my character to that ruler just to get myself a size for it. As far as the sphere goes, most of the time it's a little too light. It's not dense enough. So when I very first started this guy, I subdivided him once, the sphere. I subdivided it once, and then I deleted the lower resolution subdivision level to make it just one subdivision level again, because insert multi-mesh brushes don't work unless you have a single subdivision level. You can't have multiple, or else it doesn't work. So your question, can you just use a sphere from the startup stuff? You can, but just make sure the sphere doesn't have poles at either end. You know, all of the triangles going to the point on the top and the bottom. Just make sure it's a polysphere. You can find those, like these Dynamesh spheres, they are polyspheres. You can start with those, but they're very high resolution. They're not low. So that's why I recommend to start with just a low resolution sphere. Also, you can go into the gizmo right here, this gear, and you can click on polysphere right here, and it will give you a low resolution polysphere you can start with, and that's just fine. That will work great. And you can also set up the density there too. So polyspheres are great. And the reason why you don't want to have poles on the top and the bottom is because when you actually finally subdivide your model, it'll jam a whole bunch of polygons into those poles, and sometimes it will crash ZBrush. It's not the best for subdivision because it's actually making those triangles and subdividing them by 4 every single time you add a subdivision level. So it just crams a whole ton of polygons down into those poles. It's just not great. So hopefully that answers your question. Thanks, Neil. Okay. Really fun. You ate a lot of cheese and they killed a whole pig for us. Nice. Okay, let's get these arms on. Let's see. I need to hide the gizmo. Grab the appendage and draw it on. Here we go. Whoop. I'm going to reset this. So when I snap it, there we go. Ate like a fat kid for 2 weeks. Funny. Oh, you missed the sphere? Yeah, you just open that project. You can see it looks like this ruler project right here. And just the second subtool in the file is a sphere. So you can just start with that. Okay, now I'm gonna have to integrate these arms into the head. This is gonna be the trickiest part because the body is the head, and so it needs to work. That's why I kind of picked this, because it's kind of it's an interesting challenge. And then I have to make the armpits high enough. When you have thick arms like this, you tend to make the armpit too low down in here, and then when I stitch it together, it'll actually stitch with that body, and that's not what you want. So you need to be careful. Yep, that's what I do, Neil. Every single time I open up ZBrush, I just double click on that project and it's ready to go. And there's several reasons why that project is good, is because it already has your Skin Shade 4 loaded up. It doesn't start with that red wax. That's one thing. It also takes out that gradiated tone in the background, because the default ZBrush canvas goes from black to white, and sometimes it's really hard to see your model on that surface. So this introduces a nice medium gray tone for your background. Also, the units are set up to more easily work with programs like Maya. When you export your model out and bring it back in, that's what the ruler is for. So it's not just the ruler. There's all sorts of little tweaks and changes that I've done to it. So it gives me a nice starting environment every single time. So I'll double click that project to load it up, and then I will load my tool into it. So that's basically my workflow every day, or every day that I use ZBrush, I guess I should say. Okay, I'm gonna push these arms just in almost to the peak of the head, and then I'm gonna munge them around to actually work with that head a little better. Is munge a word? Threw up from overeating. That's eating a lot. Okay. I might do a single arm as well. So like the single leg. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's a Shane word. Yeah, another Shane word. It's what I get made fun of because I'm from a small town. I'm from a town in Utah called Coleville. It doesn't even have a stoplight. It's so small. It's just, yeah, it's just, so I have, people call them Shaneisms, but they came from Coleville, so. Your mom says you're special. That's a good thing. Okay, let's stretch this arm out to be about the length it should be. So basically, when you put your arms down, these look like longer arms, but when you put your arms down, your hands should meet mid-thigh. The tips of your fingers hit mid-thigh. But this guy has gargantuan hands that look like, if he was to put his arms down, his hands would probably touch his upper calves, maybe his knees. So I need to think about that. Maybe like that. It's also growing. Let me undo that. It's also, I need to move them up here. Sorry, I need to move the gizmo higher because it's actually scaling on the opposite side of the gizmo up into itself. Too much. So let's do this again. Oh, since you were a kid, man, that'd be nice. Spring Chicken Inn. They closed it down. It's gone now. You know, that actually started as a completely racist restaurant. The history of that restaurant is not good. Should look it up. Yeah, it's just kind of it's abandoned now. I'm going to turn his arms a little bit forward and then just kind of work out the anatomy. Is the concept a bunny guy? Yeah, it's a bunny where his head is his body. So I thought it was really funny. There's an animation for it. I posted it earlier. Neil, I don't know if you have a link to it, but there you go. There's an animation of him walking, and it's really hilarious. And it's not very typical as far as a Creaturebox concept is concerned, but it's weird like a Creaturebox concept. So I felt like I wanted to model it. I puked once in your life, and that's when I had a fever of 107. Ooh. Yeah, skips legs day. Leg day. He just works out his upper body. He's good on the rowing machine. I guess that does some legs, I guess. Okay. Too funny. Oh, nice. Did you see it won the Golden Globe Award last night? That was cool. Good job, Spidey guys that worked on that. Okay, now you see, it's funny, these arms look like a big thumb now. You can see that these, I clicked on these arms, and they have the same poly group as the legs. And what I lives on a rowboat. That's funny. What I found out recently is as you add insert multi-mesh objects, it will take on a poly group in a sequence. So if you think about the red center as the core, like as the base, any object you draw on top of that core is going to be green. So let me show you. If I grab this sphere right here, or even a cube, it doesn't matter. If I grab a cube and I draw it on this box, it's going to be green. But if I draw it on the arm, it's going to be purple, because see, the next in the sequence from this leg is purple or blue, indigo, whatever you want to call it. And then if I draw, see, I can predict what it's going to be next. See, these toes are orange. If I draw an object on this blue object, it's going to be orange. See that? So I didn't really realize that until like a couple weeks ago. I didn't realize that is the sequence that it puts the different objects in as you draw them on. So right now I want the arms to be in a different poly group than the legs, so I can select them separately. So what I can do is I can isolate these, then hide the legs. Let's grab the select lasso, make sure. And I'll just hide these legs and just hit Control W, and it'll put them into their own poly group. Yeah, I always thought it was random too. So I'm like, oh, there is some kind of a sense to this. I would almost rather them be random, because I do this all the time. I have to put them in their own group. So I wish each toe, man, I'm gonna have to talk to Pixelogic about that. So I wish each time you drew an object on the surface, it would put it in a new poly group. Or I wish you even had a toggle to be able to say, make it random or make it, like it is. So yeah, I wish each toe was in its own poly group. Oh well. It's really easy. It's really easy to put them in their own poly group, so it's not that big a deal, but still, it would be nice. Okay, so let's get back to doing this, shaping these arms out. Whoops, now I'm in move mode. And let's get these arms to start shaping up here. Get a good plane change there. Yeah, auto group and then mirror and weld. That's your best friend. Best way to do it. Or you can just, like I just did, if you only have one to do, you can just isolate it and hit Control W to put it. Bombi, my suggestion is to use ZBrush. So this is a Pixelogic's live channel. Pixelogic makes ZBrush. So I can't really, I'm not going to really talk about other programs. other than like Sculptress and ZBrush. So my recommendation would and it's wholeheartedly would be to sculpt inside of ZBrush instead, because it's a sculpting program and it's fantastic. Okay, I'm just trying to get this, kind of see this curvature coming off of his head, and then it kind of goes concave here. To the, down to the elbow. Okay, and his arms are at an angle that are that's slightly higher than I usually like my default poses, because like I said, I don't want that armpit to connect with his body, so I'm having it, they're just a little bit higher than I would usually have them. Yeah, it's true. You can, Sculptress is free if you want to play with that, but yeah, just my advice would be to just use what you can get your hands on, you know. Just go for it, get better at it, practice. All right, let's see here. If you use auto groups, it will create polygroups for every single object. Yep, and then you use mirror and weld. So here, I'll do it right now just to demo it. So if you open this custom menu that I have and you just hit auto groups right here, and it's just in the polygroups menu under tool. That's where you can find it. Just hit auto groups, and yes, it will put everything into its own polygroup, but that's not what I want either, because I want it symmetrical. So you can see all these toes, they're all in different polygroups. So then all you need to do is just hit mirror and weld like that, and now it makes everything symmetrical. Yep, and you can get ZBrush Core. I think ZBrush Core is it 200 with or without the tablet? I'm trying to remember, because you have it's either 100 or 200. I'm trying to remember, and that has a whole bunch of tools available to you. It doesn't have everything. It doesn't have like Z-Remesher, but it does have Dynamesh, which is really fun to play with, and it has a whole bunch of brushes preloaded that are really nice. And when you're ready, you can take the cost of ZBrush Core and put it towards the full version of ZBrush, which is nice too. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. For some reason, I completely forgot about ZBrush Core. I also have a video on YouTube showing how ZBrush Core kind of works. Well, it's kind of a demo of what is possible with ZBrush Core. Let's see. I'm just going to pull it up here. YouTube's. If you do a search for Shane Olson ZBrush Core, I think we'll pull it up. Yeah, it's the first one that comes up. So I just did a search. This one. If you watch this one, all these were made in ZBrush Core. So you can watch that little video that I made there. And then I did this as well. What is ZBrush Core? And I kind of walk you through how to get used to the interface and stuff like that, and what it is and what it's not. And okay, so it's 179. Yeah, ZBrush is 800, I believe. That's the 800 is the full version of ZBrush, which is, I mean, it's expensive for some, but when you look at like Maya, 3D Studio Max, stuff like that, or other sculpting programs, it's really affordable, because all updates are free ever since ZBrush came out. Like I have not paid for a single update since they came out, and it's just been, yeah, it's just added value. So crazy, but yeah, not everyone can drop $800. Okay, I'm trying to think about these fingers. I think I'm just going to stretch them into I'm going to use the end of this arm as the hand, and then I'm just going to stretch these fingers into it, like this. and just kind of bend them down. Right, but they never make you pay for an update whenever they release an update. I can't remember the last time they increased the price. It's been a long time. Sumerian, I don't know. I don't know. Right now their business model is just getting more users. And that's part of the reason that they do this live stream, is to demo ZBrush so people can see what's possible with it. So they just get more users. And I actually, I modeled my course around that same business model. If you pay for my course that I have online, it's called 3D Character Workshop. When you pay for that course, I don't charge you for upgrades, because if you think about it, it just makes your customers and students happy, because they don't have to pay anything else. They don't have to pay for another, a bunch of stuff just for the next year. And then basically it helps with word of mouth. So you're going to tell your friends, and they're going to tell their friends, and we're just going to get more students, and ZBrush will get more users. So it's a good thing. I like it. Hey Fami, how's it going? $15 cheese pizza. Nice. Okay. And it doesn't look like this guy has a thumb, but I'm going to give him one. Everybody needs opposing thumbs. How long? I have another hour or so. Yeah. I stream for another hour and 15 minutes. I can't remember much, but I think it's been that same price for quite a while, but I could be mistaken. See, I'm going to shape the hand under the fingers to better match. What's up, Julie? Oh, 9 p.m. Okay. Nice. Okay, I'm going to push that thumb a little closer. And again, these are all in the same poly group. They're all purple, so let's do that auto group thing again. Auto group, mirror and weld, done. Just a little closer. Getting into drawing. Yeah, I'm not the best at drawing either, honestly. Okay, so it's funny because this looks like a guy without a head, right? But it's going to be this bunny with its face on its chest, so it's kind of fun. I'll be doing that shortly. Hey, what's up, Polygon? All right, did you just raid me? That's funny. I was watching your stream before I started my stream a little bit. It's going great. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good holidays, whatever you want to call it. You did a raid, awesome. Well, welcome all the new peeps. Polygon's also a streamer here on Pixelogic channel, but he streams on his own occasionally as well. And so make sure you catch him if you're interested. When do you stream, by the way? And if you want to see when streamers stream, you can just go to ZBrush Live. Like this, and go to pixelogic.com/ZBrush live, and then go to presenters or schedule up top here. I'll click on schedule, and then you can see who's up. So Eamon went this morning, then myself, Tomas is on tonight with his jewelry making stuff. Oh, here we go. Looks like Michael Pavlovich, he streams so early in the mornings. Oh my goodness, 4 a.m. What are you doing, Michael? And then here we go. This is Polygon right here. So it looks like you are at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? January 8th. Yeah, tomorrow. Awesome. So yeah, check that out. I love Polygon stuff. If you like stylized characters like I do, he's the stuff he makes is very similar to mine. I love it. So I love, oh, what's up, Harry? I love that we're getting more stylized character modelers in here. All right, I'm gonna bend his hands down just a bit. I don't know why I like to do that. Do you do that too, Ben? Just kind of bend them down a little bit just to give it that wrist break. Now, the people who rig, I hate saying riggers, but people who rig, they don't care for bent joints as much. They like elbows and knees bent because it gives them a direction to bend in, but like wrists and things that can bend in several directions, they like them straight. But I like to bend them just so I can get them cleared by the art director a little more. Tuesdays at 3. Yeah, it makes the hand more natural. You do that. Whose concept? This is Creaturebox, and I'm not sure if it's Greg or Dave, one of the two, but they have a really cool animation. So, yeah, Creaturebox. Here, I'll show you. Creaturebox. It's a. Yep, you guessed it. I don't know if you can see Creaturebox down here. I should pull it out a little bit more. There's the original animation. There's a link incoming. Let me pull this out so we can see it a little more. Yeah, copyright Creaturebox. There we go. You can see it better. Yeah, it's a really screwy, fun rabbit character. Okay, I think I'm liking that all right. Yeah, they're amazing. They're concept artists at they work on Ratchet and Clank, but they also have their own side business called Creaturebox, and they have some fantastic books out and stuff like that. And they're really cool guys. They're hilarious. They're typically at CTN if they can make it. So I've met them before at CTN. Yeah, struggling when it walks. It's like anyway, I just love the bounciness to it. I don't know. His legs might be a little too long here. I'll have to adjust some of the proportions as I go. All right, let's get the ears and the tail on and maybe that nose. And then I'll probably give him a mouth cavity, a small mouth cavity. Let's do some ears. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank is great. Flip this way. It's going to be... I know, right? Without a face? It's like his face is on his chest. It's really weird. That's why I chose this concept, because it was so just strange, and it's so hard to animate a character with its face on its chest, because you don't get that, you don't get the neck turn and then the chest turn to follow. It's like for him to look to the left, he has to do that. He has to turn his whole body to look to the left. And plus his eyes don't really have direction. So it's like it literally is a full body turn to look anywhere. So crazy. Sorry, I think about these things. I used to animate. I animated for 5 years during my career. So I think about that kind of stuff. Like, oh man. Yeah, Taz and Bugs Bunny. Oh, I miss those cartoons. Okay, I think I'm gonna pull out the what is it called, this line, the magic trick with this line to bend something. Do you ever do this, Ben? This is the only time I ever revert back to the old way of moving things. Is if I want to bend an object, I'll put the line along that object like this, and then make sure I'm on move, and then hold down Alt and just kind of bend it. Let's see. Come on, bend it. What's going on? You only use the transpose line. Yeah, the transpose line. There it is. Yeah, so there's a toggle right here. See this Gizmo 3D? You can toggle it between the old transpose line and the new Gizmo. And you can't... So you can bend stuff with the new modifiers underneath the gear, which is pretty good. But sometimes I just want to use the old bend trick in... Oh, it's on scale. That's why. With this. And basically you hold down Alt and you can bend them like this. See that? And get a nice bend in there. And that's basically all you have to do is make sure you're on move up here. Gizmo 3Ds for scrubs. Scrubs. So, yeah, and then you just hold down Alt on this white circle and you just pull it out. You can make it bend just like that. Hidden trick. Yay. I think I want to bend it. See how it's the curve is lower, closer to his head. So basically that's the control you can get with this transpose line, is I can pull this transpose line closer down to his head. And you can you have to visualize it like a kind of like a NURBS line. Well, I don't know if that'll help anybody if you guys know what NURBS are. But like and then bend it closer to his head. Like this. Ooh. I don't know if that's any better or not. And then you can mask it and bend it and stuff like that too. I think I'm going to pull it out further. Yeah, something like that. And then you just move it back into place. Whoops, but not overlapping in the center. Now we can go back to Gizmo. The Gizmo that's for scrubs. Powerful and confusing. It's true. Apparently like the presidency of the United States. Oh, sorry. I typically don't do political jokes, but I couldn't help it. All right, the next is you can use the snake hook to tweak and bend and get things thinner. And Polygon, I don't know if you know this or not, but Ashley, another streamer on here, she loves the snake hook brush, and it's a little known fact that if you say snake hook 3 times, she'll show up in your stream. I got one more time and she'll show up. It's like Beetlejuice. Did I say it 3 times? It's one time I was streaming and I was talking about it, and I said snake hook 3 times, and all of a sudden, boom, there she was. Yep, you've heard and seen it in action. Let's thin this out. Okay, now what I want to do is just kind of shape these ears. In Polygon, I have to say, I love your choice in shapes when you make your stuff. You have a really good eye for appealing shapes. Good stuff, man. Oh, there's a squid arm. It's coming. Okay. What I like to do, like in instances like this, I want the inner side kind of flat. So I'll just take the pinch brush and run it along this inner edge. Thanks, man. And back down this way. Then across just that little end up here, just to finish it off. There we go. And then I'll just push this stuff back in so it's kind of concave. I'll try and keep it smooth. Can you guys hear my bird squawking up there? Sometimes she likes to just go off. Hey, what's up, Austin? That's a good question. It depends on where you live in the world, and it depends on the company that you're working for, how stable it is. So it's a really, really, really broad question. So it depends on how stable the company is that you're working for and how much they need character modeling in the company. Sounds like a rainforest. Yeah, that's really where I'm at. In the jungle of the south. All right, I'm not gonna bend them down as far as he has them because he's kind of mid pose and he's animating. So typically when you go to rig a character, I would have these ears straight up, but they don't sell well if they're straight up. To, like, say an art director or somebody like that. They're not as appealing, I guess, if they're not sort of posed. So sometimes I'll pose something just to get a buy off from the art director or the client that I'm working for, and then I'll bend them back. So sorry, Austin, that was kind of a vague answer. I really don't like to give specifics because I don't want somebody to go, well, Shane said I can make this much, you know, and it really depends. It really depends. And it depends on your skill level, whole bunch of factors involved in that. I wish I could say, oh, you can make this much, you know, but you can make a decent living at it. And you can get a job that's quite stable in it if you find the right job. So, for example, I worked for Disney Interactive for 10 years. That was pretty stable. That's not very hurt. That's not typical, especially if you're in California, because a lot of the studios, when the project's over, they do layoffs. And then they hire people back again, or they hire new staff, because there are more people in the area, so they can afford to lay them off and then hire them back. But in a place like Utah, where I'm from, there aren't very many studios around here. So to lay them off, there's a good chance that they're actually going to leave the state, and then they won't be able to hire them back. So, Harry Mandibles, you can do a bust if you want. I would probably say, yeah, you can do a bust for sure. I don't know how Dave and Greg are going to judge, you know, if they're like, hey, that's not a full character. But I would assume if the bust is really, really well done, then you'd be just fine. Okay. And typically, I will put the nose and the teeth and the eyes, and if this guy had claws, I would put all of those bits in separate subtools because I'm not going to want to combine them all together at the end. So I'll do that right now. Basically, what am I doing? Let's do a split unmasked points. I'm going to save it. How do you add a subtool? You actually have to separate them. So that's what I just did right now. See how I separated this? There's a body right here. Now the nose is separate. You can still see them together, but what I did is you can just mask off a portion, and then you just hit split to unmask points, or you can hide some of the poly groups and hit group split. Well, group split will split them. But you can, yeah, there's several different ways to split polygroups from each other and make new subtools. His body form is similar to Mike Wazowski. It kind of is, but let's see, where is Mike? Here he is. So if you look, let me see if I can pop this into full cam. I just got to remember to put it back. But see this Mike? His arms are skinny, and the rabbit's arms are really thick. But yeah, Mike has his face on his body, and he has 3-toed feet, but they have claws. All right, Polygon, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for the raid. All right, so yeah, that's Mike. All right, let's go back to standard. There we go. Okay, completely understand. As a previous game developer, I came across a lot of turnover in game development, kind of hard to maintain consistent income. Yeah, that being said, I've worked at 6 different studios in my career of 18 years. So, yeah, it's a roller coaster for sure. What's a Creaturebox challenge? So that's for the students of my course. I teach a course called 3D Character Workshop. That's what this logo is above my head, 3D Character Workshop. It's an online course, and I do student challenges in there. And right now I'm doing a Creaturebox student challenge where I have the students model something from Creaturebox, and then I'm actually having Greg and Dave, the 2 guys that form Creaturebox, that own it, they're going to come in and judge the student work. So they have until January 31st to finish it up. So if you're interested in joining the course, just sign up for my free brushes, and you'll be entered into my newsletter, and then you'll be notified when the course becomes available again for enrollment. So I know it's kind of confusing, but let's see. Same thing happened to my friend in Toronto. Tried to find work as a character artist and recently moved to Montreal and found a lot of things improved for him. Yep, you kind of have to go where the work is, right? Dosh, you can do what you want, sure. Just make sure you credit the original concept artist, which is Creaturebox, if you're going to do this. Okay. Nope, his nose disappeared. It's just hidden. Dink. Okay, and then I'm going to give him his little beady eyes. Beady eyes. These might move after I get things in place. Okay. So somebody was asking how I make a new subtool. So for example, I just drew these new objects onto the surface of this character. Now all I need to do is split them into a new subtool because I'm not going to merge them into the body. Okay, so all I have to do is open up this menu and hit split unmask points. And you can see that now the eyeballs are in their own subtool. And the nose is in its own subtool, and the body's in its own. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that. It's in its own subtool. Okay. Now I'm just going to make that little tail. It's actually quite a big tail. I'm gonna squish it in this direction, roll it up, embed it. I love that tail. It balances him out. It's pretty cool. Okay. So, and I'm not going to merge this in because it's made from a different material. Any particular reason you chose to work using primitives in most of your pieces? Because it helps me figure out the volumes as I model it. If I used to just mask off an area and pull the stuff out, or I used to use Z-spheres at one point, and those are just difficult workflows. This working in primitives, it kind of does two things. It keeps you from getting into your details too fast, and it also helps you with your forms and with your editing. I can edit any of these objects at any point right now, so and it won't affect the underlying geometry because they're separate pieces. So that's what I just prefer to do. I learned it from an old animator, Preston Blair, that used to do his drawings. He would draw out his stuff in primitive forms like that. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Split the unmasked point, split the tail. And I see how the tail and the nose kind of look similar. So I can go in here and rename this Cottontail. And this will be his nose. So you can rename these as you go if you want. Body. It doesn't really matter until the end. 1949? Yes. So, yeah, there were gigantic, really thin books. Come on, get down here. So, if you do a search for Preston Blair, you can see, like this one, you can see how this bunny is made of primitive objects. See that? Primitive objects. It's just kind of basics of how to draw. Let me see if I can find another one. There you go. Just look up Preston Blair and he kind of breaks down exactly how he has built his characters. There you go. See this one? All primitives to make this guy. So I decided that I wanted to try to do it in 3D and it worked out. So no, I do end up with a watertight mesh, and I'm going to show you how to do that soon. And then, yes, eventually I will do the retopologizing, but not right away. I use ZRemesher more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ZRemesh. I'm going to actually do it right now. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to save this off first, then duplicate the mesh in case I need to go back. And I'll show you this so you can see. So I'm going to remesh this really quick because some of these are stretched. I don't know that it'll matter too much. Maybe I'll try it without. Let's see. No, I'm going to do it. Because what I do is I use Remesh by Union. It's a brand new thing in 2018, ZBrush 2018. So when you turn on your gizmo right here, you have to reset it to 0, 0. Okay, and then you click on this gear, and there's a Remesh by Union. I'll try it and see what it does. So basically, that stitches everything together. See that? Everything is stitched now. But if you have differences in density between your meshes, like see the fingers are a different density than the arms, sometimes the restitching will break your mesh. See that? It's adding way too many triangles and it's just getting confused. So before I stitch it, I will ZRemesh it. So let's do that first. So ZRemesher. Yeah, sure, we'll try it, just the defaults. Okay, now what that does is that gets the objects a little closer to the same resolution. So the fingers are way less dense, and the arms are possibly a little more dense. The ears might have some problems down in here, but I don't know, it could be fine. We'll see. You want to make sure that your fingers are actually embedded in your mesh, so when it stitches together, it actually stitches. It doesn't leave a gap. So I'm going to push these in just a little bit further. Hey, what's up, Lucky? How's it going, Mike? Yeah, it's kind of a unique workflow that I've been doing recently. I really like it. I like it better than Dynamesh because it's not going to close the gaps in between these fingers. It'll just stitch it together. So let's try it now. Stitch by union. There we go. A little cleaner. These look a little better. Let's look at those ears. The ears, I'm just going to have to work on it. Symmetry's not on. Oh, okay. Here, I'm going to mirror and weld first anyway. Just in case. There we go. And then turn on symmetry. Whoops. Okay, then do it again. Thanks, me. All right, remesh by union. There we go. Okay, so then you click on this gear and hit accept. And now we have this. Have you? Has it been working out, Neil? I like it a lot. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate this again, just so I have it. I have it at this stage. Okay, and then hide it. So I have the block out. I have the stitched version, and now I'm going to Z-remesh it again. Now that it's stitched to get better, because this isn't really sculptable geometry right here. Becker. Yes, totally. Okay, Z-remesher. I'm going to try it a little higher poly count. I'm going to try it at like an 8. 8 stands for 8,000. Hit Z-remesher. We're going to try. See what it gives us. Okay. Oh, my symmetry wasn't turned on. Every time you go into the gizmo and you use one of those techniques inside of there, it's going to turn symmetry off for some reason. So make sure you turn it back on. We'll try it again. Kind of annoying. There we go. So that is a clean stitched Z-remeshed mesh. So now what we can do is we can just go in here and we can turn topological off now and just kind of smooth everything together. Just run smooth over the top of it. And some areas I want to keep the lines, like in the crotch folds right here. I want to keep those lines. But other areas I want to smooth out, like the transition from the shoulders to that head. I want to smooth those out. But I want to keep his armpit creases. And just kind of smooth this out. Whoop, that's too much. Too much. But see how it keeps this mesh nice and clean. So if it was Dynameshed, it would kind of be a mess right now between these toes and things like that. Symmetry back on. Oh, thanks. Okay. Gosh, I better mirror it and mirror and weld it because I've worked on this side and not that side. So just go in here and hit, because mirror and weld only mirrors from screen left to screen right, and I was working on the right hand side. I need to flip it and then do a mirror and weld to mirror it back across. So I have this right here under deformation, mirror, and then mirror and weld. You can't, it doesn't, I didn't do enough that you could really tell, but it did it. Okay, we're good to go. Thanks. Again, stupid symmetry, man. I gotta put a post-it note on my monitor or something. Or just have Neil around, right? Or set up my Alexa to remind me. Okay, so these hands, I need to do some editing to them because these fingers are looking like they're not integrated. The reason I wanted them to be kind of bulbous like this is because I wanted to have that crease underneath where those fingers were, but on the top I don't. I want the fingers to be integrated into the hand. So what I'm going to do is just get this this fill brush and just kind of put a bridge between the two, just like this. Tell me we got 119. Doing okay. Sometimes the fill brush doesn't work very well on a low resolution mesh. So you just kind of have to work with it a little bit. And what's cool about a Z-remeshed mesh that's been dynamically subdivided, so you can see the word dynamic on here. The dynamic is just a preview. This is really what the mesh is looking like. That's how dense it is. It looks smoother than that because I have it's being subdivided, but only in a preview. So let me turn that back on. Whoops, not Dynamesh. See, that's what Dynamesh would do to it. See how ugly the armpits are? I know it's going to be really dense if you're going to keep all that information, and then it's really hard to work with. So it's better just to keep it nice and low and clean and the flow moving, and turn on dynamic like this. Okay. Looks like we have some issues back here. That's a perfect place to have issues, right? So in order to fix this, see how it's got this split thing right here? So basically what you can do is you can turn off symmetry, drag this thing over into the other side a little bit. We're going to try mirror and weld, make sure I have the right side. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. Basically, whoops. Just going to try and fix this here. Okay, I just want these close. I can stitch these two together. I'm just going to isolate these two. Let's see. Display. Where are you? Display. Not display properties. Oh, visibility. Grow. There we go. Grow one more time. Okay, so now I can go into Z Modeler and stitch these two together, or collapse this edge. Let me see. Stitch, 2 points. There we go. That's stitched together. Now I can mirror and weld that. Sorry, I'm moving kind of quick. I need to turn my smooth intensity down a lot because it was going too fast. There we go. That's clean and not broken. Sometimes that happens across the center. Does this model need retopology? Yes. If I'm going to animate it, it absolutely does. This is a Z-remeshed mesh, which is not the best for animation. Can you animate it? Sure, but will your animators hate you? Yes, they will. Let's say that. Everybody wants the Z-remesher to actually work as a final mesh, and it just doesn't, unfortunately. You need to actually go in there by hand and retopologize it to be animator friendly. Because you can make this fairly low. It's handy that the whole menu system is not even alphabetically arranged. No. Sorry. I have to move. I'm standing on a mat that's cushioning my feet, and I had to move it because it moves on its own. Yeah, these fingers are just not set up for deformation with this mesh. Okay. Come on. Stop it. There we go. Trying to get the camera to spin around the spot that I want. When you apply mirror and weld to the entire model like that, it doesn't mess the model. Well, since this is just a sculpting mesh. This is not a mesh that you're going to use. You're not going to take it over to Maya and animate it. So it's going to disrupt the point count, like the vertice numbers. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but all the little points are called vertices between the faces, these little dots. And typically you don't want to mirror and weld anything because if you had UVs, it would mess up your UVs. If you had anything like that, it would mess it up. But since this is just a sculpting mesh, you shouldn't care at all. You just mirror it. It doesn't matter. As long as you don't have real subdivision levels on here. Doug, you don't always stand at your Cintiq, do you? No. Yeah, I'm more like 40-60 when I do. I stand less than I should, but the most I can stand really is like 2 hours. So we're going on an hour and a half almost right now of standing. And my camera is on its own tripod, so if I lowered my desk back down, I'd be like this, you know? So I want to get a tripod that's kind of hooked to my desk so I can actually move it up and down. Hey, what's up, Carlos? Nice. Okay, I want to get some color on this guy. Okay, but before I get any further, I want to make a mouth interior to make his mouth. So all I'm going to do is just drag it in. I'm not going to do anything fancy this time with the mouth interior. I'm just going to pull it inwards. Let's see. Okay. Now, see, it's looking ugly. Now, hypothetically, if you Z-remesh it, it'll make a ring around this to try and keep that geometry. So let's try it again. There we go. So now we have a mouth. It's kind of doing something weird right here, but I think it's good enough for what we need. Okay, so just know that every time you Z-remesh, it shrinks your whole mesh just slightly. So it just kind of shrinks everything just a little bit. So if you want to bring it back to where it was, you can go down into this deformation palette into inflate and just barely inflate that mesh back a little bit just to compensate. Should we render in high resolution like in the 4K to get really good details on a model? Sure. You can make it as high of resolution as you want, you know, for your final resolution, for your final render. Excuse me. It's midnight there. Well, thanks for hanging out. Okay. So now we have this. We can clean it up, smooth it. I'm going to turn the Z intensity up a little bit more, to kind of clean that a little bit. Then we can just start moving this into place. How do you take a snapshot? Are you like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to snap your model down to the canvas? Are you trying to like for a render, or for what do you want to do? 2 a.m. in India. Ooh. Thanks. Yep, the rabbit's like, merp. So I just turned on, I didn't turn on topological, but I meant to turn it on to range 3 so I can move the bottom lip without affecting the upper lip. Trying to get that mouth doing what I need it to do. It's doing some weird stuff. Okay. Yeah, I gotta smooth this back out a little bit. It's getting a little too crowded up in there. So to answer your question, a snapshot, if you want to snap your model to the canvas, to the background, you just kind of put your model where you want it and hit Shift S. See that? It'll snap like that. And you can turn it again, Shift S, and it'll keep it there. See that? So if you want to clear this, you just hit Control N. It'll clear it out. Hey, what's up? Cairo. Nice, Dafri. If that's how you say Dafrawi. Oh, the range? Like this? You want to know where this is? It is in the button path brush auto masking range. See that? You can hold control down over any UI item and it will actually show you the path to where the thing is at. So if you want to know where range is, just hold control and it says, so brush auto masking range, wherever it is. Right there, range. So if you want to put that on your UI, you just enable customize, hold down Control and Alt, and just drag it down to wherever you want it. Okay. Is that what you're talking about, Carlos? You're getting hypnotized. I tend to do that. Okay, and I want to push in the little, whatever that is, between. Oh, Juan, sure if you want. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to give feedback, but okay, I'm going to hide that nose and just kind of push this in and then use pinch, just kind of pinch this together. Okay, and then I want to push it in far enough, the bottom lip far enough to make room for the little buck teeth. Those hilarious buck teeth. So, not that much. Like that. Okay. There we go. Now there's some things that I want to really push and adjust. Oh, I did? Okay. Cool. Becker, sometimes that's what it takes, man. That's what it takes. Do what you got to do. Okay. For these, especially when you're starting out, it's going to take you a long time. You know, I apologize for making it look easy sometimes. It's not easy. I've just had the experience to make it look easy. And I also pick characters that I know I can do on a stream. So, you know, that's another kind of a false thing, because sometimes I'll have characters that are super challenging that take me a really long time to do. Okay, so let me do I'm gonna do some spheres for the should I? Maybe I'll do this really low resolution. Okay, and then I'm going to split these off. Shrink them down. And just kind of edit. Because I want them not to be perfect cubes. I want them to be semi-organic in nature. Okay. Then, yeah, something like that. So it looks like he's just got one tooth, but I'm going to give him two. Like buck teeth. But just really close together. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. It's actually in the comments. You know, in the comments of the animation, somebody's like, it's either two little beady eyes or one big cyclops eye. So you're not alone in thinking that. Okay. Oops. Gosh, what did I do? There. Okay, I accidentally hit Alt and selected my body, and then I hit undo, and it made those spheres come back for some reason. Tenchi, what's up? Just making a bunny, you know, crazy looking bunny. This concept design is by Creaturebox. Love, love, love their work. Yeah. Hey! There she is. Took you a little while today, Ash. I said snake hook like a long time ago. But I'm glad you're here. Yay! What do you think of this bunny? Yep, it worked. It was just delayed. How's it going? So Ashley, aka A Cubed, is another streamer on here. Phenomenal streacher. What did I say? I read creature and I said streacher. Phenomenal streamer. Oh, funny. Sorry. Let's get some color on this guy. Color might help. All right. Let's. Drop. Phenomenal streaker. Are you still streaming some? You're streaming some stylized characters on your personal stream, yeah? And still doing creatures on your Pixelogic stream? Or what do you got going on these days, this year? Let's see. I want to do white, but not quite super white for this tail and these teeth. Streacher. You're a mess. You're a loose cannon. I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put different materials on the eyes and the nose. Make that toy. Where is it? So switch to material. Let's pick this toy plastic. There we go. Toy plastic. Fill it. Grab those eyes. Where are those eyes? Okay, we got them. Fill object. Go back to skin shade 4 and make sure I got it. Nope, didn't get the nose. Okay, fill. Got it this time? Let's see. There we go. Aren't the light sources 100% white? I believe so. They are in skin shade 4 anyway. Okay. Now I will probably save the lighter orange for after I actually subdivide the model up, so I can actually get nice nice edges, because otherwise it's just gonna be well, I guess let me drop this. Okay. Oh, I'm painting material. Dang it. Okay. Fill. I need to switch back to RGB. There we go. See, it's not going to do a nice edge because the polygons are so low. So this is the actual polygons, and when you're doing poly paint, it's going to paint the vertices. So, for example, let me zoom in here. See if I paint right on this dot here, it's just going to paint. It's only going to paint that vertice because it's so low. See, it's like, it's kind of hard to see, but it acts as a star. Let me pick a better color so you can see it. That's not really a better color. Let's just go black. There we go. See how it's kind of a star? That's because it's painting just this vertice color. That's what poly paint is. You're just painting the vertice color. So the more dense your model is, the better your painting is going to be. That's why I save the painting until the very end. Another way around it is to use Sculptress Pro, but sometimes that's a bad idea if you're wanting to pose it and stuff like that. So. Becker. Yes. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna paint it anyway, just at this lower resolution. Just because I can. Have you ever sculpted a Creaturebox creature, Ash, with all your creature sculpting? I know you do your own stuff, but I just wondered. Another thing you can do if you want to get poly paint to be nice and tight along an edge is you can pinch it. So you can pinch the geometry. So I'll show you. It's not the best for the surface, but so let me show you what I'm talking about. If you grab pinch and you run it along here, you can watch it get closed up. See that? It gets a little better, but you're actually pinching the geometry and displacing it like this. So you just have to be careful. See how it's pinching it together? Because since it's bringing those vertices together, closer together, and that's why you're going to get a tighter edge right there. But it's also, you know, it's making the geometry look like this, you know, which isn't, maybe it's what you want, maybe not, but that's not what I want. I want it smooth. So I'll just wait until I get back and, or until I subdivide it. Okay, but I can put some, when they first started streaming, I did 2. Oh, nice, nice. I'll have to go check it out. I just color the pads up. Color the feet pads up. I want to make this guy animatable. And animate him. He's so fun. What's up, Blands? Thanks for stopping in. Are you traveling back home from the holidays, or what are you up to? Probably not, Tenchi. I'm wanting to do an animation course, but that's like way down the line. And I have another friend of mine that's actually working on his own that might be amazing. So we'll have to see. Okay. Let me see here. I'm just going to check proportions, see if I want to do anything. I'm going to save it before I do. We've got about 15 minutes left. Okay, let's see. Sometimes I like to use move elastic to make bigger changes. Like say, I think he could work if he was a little wider from the front, a little thicker. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, just ever so slightly wider. Go back to move brush. Because move is more of a local move, and elastic is more of the fallout goes beyond. The fall off goes beyond the actual brush with elastic brush. So, and it's funny, makes it funny. Close that in a little bit more. And then I want to pop these calves a little bit and shrink the knees. Because again, that's funny. Did I use Z-spheres? No, I blocked it out with primitives. I hardly ever use Z-spheres anymore. So this stream will actually be up on Pixelogic's YouTube channel in a week or two, or maybe even a couple days, and you can watch the entire process back if you would like to see exactly how I did this. All right. Okay, I want to give his knees kind of a little nubbin. I know you do. Love a good calf muscle. Okay. This is looking kind of weird. Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, working out. Bunny's working out. Okay, I need to, I also want to flatten out the transition between his arms and the back, because that's a little too much of a valley happening there. And I want to drop his armpits, the crease that his armpits are making, more towards, like, I just don't want it to go so far up into his back, if that makes sense. Smooth it out. And he kisses guns and then hop away. Dun, dun, dun. Or maybe he's in a wheelchair. Maybe that's why his arms are so big. I mean, obviously not in the concept, but hey. There we go. He did skip leg day. Okay, I do want his feet to be a little bigger. You just got a display tablet, XP Pen 16 Pro. Awesome. That should go a long ways to help you out. And the same thing with these toes, I want to integrate them a little bit more on the top. Yeah, just kind of like... Did I just do that? I could totally... when I was animating, I totally act out my scenes. And film myself and then animate it. Sometimes you can use the clay buildup brush when doing this stuff. You just gotta be careful because it'll introduce it'll make the mesh kind of not nice sometimes. It's doing some weird stuff. The fill brush doesn't work as well on low resolution meshes. It tends to work better when the mesh is high resolution. That's why I don't use it. Sometimes it works. It just depends on the density of the mesh. Like, oh yeah, Sebulba. I love Sebulba. He's such a well-designed character. Get an arch. I like that. Have that arch in there. But it needs to be on this side. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and subdivide it now. I'm going to hit apply. And that basically applies the subdivision levels. So now it has 3, but it only has 240 or 264,000 polys. So I'm going to subdivide that up to 1,000,000. And we'll see if we have enough geometry to paint nicer lines on here. There we go. See that? Much cleaner. Let's come back and do the opposite. There we go. He's got some on his inner thigh there. Whoop. This is what a Cintiq is good for. You can turn on lazy mouse and that works too, but sometimes it's good to have a Cintiq so you can just like one-to-one right in there. All right. And so, like a Cintiq won't make you a better artist, of course, but it will speed up your workflow. That's all. So don't feel like you have to have a Cintiq for some reason or you're not going to be good. That's not true. There's some people that actually still prefer a tablet to a Cintiq just because that's what they're used to. You used to tablet? What name is what? So I'm using a Cintiq, which is essentially a screen that I can draw on, made by Wacom, or Wacom, or whatever you want to call it. And Wacom makes tablets too. And tablets are just like a tablet that sits on your desk, and you're not actually drawing right on your screen. But you can see in my camera down here, I'm drawing right on the screen. But they're expensive and not necessary. They just help speed up your workflow. So if you're a freelancer and time is money, then the Cintiq makes sense. But if you're a student just learning, a Cintiq is overkill. All right. This guy turned out pretty fun. I want to animate. I want him to do the exact same walk cycle that this guy has. I want to animate him. I think I need to to increase his fingers though. Now that I have him built, I want to make him fatter. Just really fatten up those tips there. There we go. Same with the toes. I don't do this in the beginning because I don't want them to be stitched together, so I leave a gap. But now I can inflate them together. Seagull Rush, what'd you do? I'm creating a knuckle change of direction just to kind of, I went a lower subdivision level just so I can put it on there. Then smooth it down, just so it's just kind of apparent where the knuckles are a little more. Smooth it down. Okay. Then I just want to put an edge where the elbow would be. Maybe I'll move it. I'll use the move brush to do it. Then it's more organic. Just a little nubbin. That helps with the silhouette from the top. See that? It kind of goes chink and then changes direction down the arm. All right, guys. I think we're good. Oh, looks like the back of the arm's got some warbles on it. Hold on a second. Gotta fix it. There we go. Better. Okay. Turn on perspective. Let's zoom up kind of at the angle that he's at. I could probably make those fingers even a little bit bigger. Those fingers are huge. Anyway, all right, guys. There you go. I'm pretty satisfied with that in a couple hours, so that's kind of fun. Just to bust something out like that. Now he's not animation ready or anything like that. I would have to retopologize him and then transfer the colors to the UVs and stuff like that. I could probably make his belly even a little more rounded out so it comes out a little more. I'm just looking at things that I might change. Just looking at it. Sometimes you just got to step back and check it out and make sure it's good. So anyway, thanks for swinging by, Ash. It's awesome as usual. Are you streaming? Are you streaming Thursdays still? Or I'm gonna look again. I always forget. My stupid grandpa brain. ZBrush Live. Here we go. To find out when we stream, you can go to ZBrush Live, or just search for it. Go to Pixelogic ZBrush Live. Go to Schedule, and you can see who's streaming when. So yeah, tomorrow is Michael Pavlovich way early in the morning. Holy cow. And then Polygon goes, and then Ash is streaming at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. So yeah, catch her then. Thanks for dropping by, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. First stream of the new year, 2019. It's been fun. As always, if you would like to get my brushes and my user interface and my ruler file, you can always go to 3D Character Workshop and sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get those brushes and user interface for free. Also, I'm going to be opening up my course for enrollment again very, very soon, this month again. And it's a great time to join because right now we're running a Creaturebox student challenge. And the owners of Creaturebox, Greg and Dave, they're going to be judges for the challenge, as well as a handful of others. So it's a good time to join. Also, I'm doing a student-only stream on Wednesdays. So that's a stream that only students can watch. And I'm going to be sculpting a character made by Todd Harris, my good friend Todd Harris. And his sirloin of beef character. So I'm going to show you that really fast. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Ta-da. I'm going to be sculpting this, and I'm starting that Wednesday. So, yep, Greg and Dave, they're amazing. But I'm going to be sculpting this guy from start to finish, doing retopology and everything. So if you want to watch me live and ask questions, now is a good time to join us in the course. And I'll be opening up enrollment very, very, very soon. So you won't have to miss out on that. So anyway, thanks, guys. We will or I'll see you next week, same time. And thanks for hanging out. Have a great week. We'll see you. Take care.